Oh my goodness. I hope everyone is feeling the same way I am after that game, because that game just was not pretty at all. If it wasn't for some Sooner magic at the very end to keep Pratt from getting that first down, we probably could have been looking at our Heisman, our national championships, pretty much all the aspirations we had for the season gone at this point. But I'm just going to be honest, guys. This was not a pretty game. I will take a win. That's at the end of the day, you want to win over a loss. But man, it is hard emotionally to get invested in this team when you see what was on the field at that point. Though, now, that being said, first off, final score was OU was 40 and Tulane 35 at this point. Overall, with this game, I do hope with how close it got at the end with it, I hope this was a wake-up call for the team that you still got to go play the season to win the national championship. You're not going to just coast through the entire season. There's talent on that team across the entire board. But you still got to play the games. You can't just coast through it. You can't just approach each game very lackadaisical and lazy on it at this point. That all being said, I cracked the joke of it was pretty generous of what OU was doing of painting their logo on the field, welcoming them and giving them the ticket revenue and almost giving them the win from this game with this. I'm glad we didn't, but oh my goodness, it got close. It got close. To get an idea, too, for casual viewers who are watching this video or stumbling upon it, even former players right now from Joe McCoy and CD are really criticizing OU playing coaching at the moment with it. Overall, if I had to give my thoughts on it, because again, something I didn't mention in the beginning that I will now is I want to try to record these videos as close as I can to after the game to get my feelings on the game on it, like not just something analytical about it, but also what my true feelings are on, like whether they're positive feelings, negative feelings, things like that with it. That all being said, my overall thoughts on it right now is the play. I understand the element of rust with it going backwards, that they were sloppy. The game overall was sloppy with it. And I understand rust with it. And again, if y'all see me looking down like this, it's because I'm reading from notes that I've written out with it. But that was in addition with the rust and everything like that though, as well. I just feel like there's some red flags already. I'm getting Utah State vibes again. I'm getting Houston 2019 vibes that I never had a doubt that this team was not going to win this game. I always figured this team was going to win. It was just how we got there. And, we almost stumbled at the end, but we got there. Is just, I don't know how much I can buy into this hype now with it, seeing what was on the field. And mind you, there were players out on each side. We'll get to that, but that's just kind of what's going through my brain at the moment. The big thing I do want to cover, and this is, I'm a big, as of recent a fan of the KDA songs. And one of the songs is The Drum Go Dumb. I'm going to be beating the drum until the end of time on this. I do not know what Lincoln's game plan is in the second half. And I will continue absolutely to say that Lincoln needs a second half coach so he can manage closing out the game. It seems like always we start a little bit slow in the first quarter. The second quarter is our best quarter. Halftime comes and then he shuts down. I do not know what the reasoning is behind it is. I don't know what his mentality on it is, but this is something that I've noticed even before the Georgia Rose Bowl game. I know I'm bringing up some PTSD for some Sooner fans at this point, but that all being said with it, I noticed that it's not just something that it's a little thing here and there with it. It's just we're not adjusting or anything. This is a trend at this point. And I don't know what the answer is at this point with it. It's just, he needs something. He needs somebody else on that staff, maybe even another offensive coordinator with it to manage that other part of the game to help assist him with the play calling. I do not know with it. That all being said, kudos to Brkic and not skipping leg day, because bro just drilled all those kicks. Like, that was impressive, even just for the casual viewer. Like, we are seeing usually average of 40, 45 yarders at this point. To make a 50, a 57, like, dude was balling today. And I would say, without a doubt, he was our MVP, because if he didn't get those kicks, I think we could have realistically lost this game. Keeping in mind that we could have realistically lost this game. Aside from that, we needed those points to win. Those 6 points were crucial with it, though. So massive kudos to him. Now, speaking about Brkic, let's just go over the kind of entire offense at the moment with it. Prior to the game, I uploaded my video about 45 minutes prior to kickoff with it. And during that time to kickoff, we found out we had more players missing. We all knew about Theo Weiss, but we found out too, like Drake Stoops was going to be missing. It was confirmed Rain was not going to be our center. And I think that's where a lot of our problems were, because if I had to point to a unit that just played really poorly, it was the O-line. The O-line did not hold up at all to Tulane's defense. And I thought Tulane's defense was going to be pretty terrible, but I take that back. I'm not going to say terrible. I thought they were going to be manageable because they were filled with a lot of young freshmen with it and some sophomores. No, they defeated our O-line and kicked our butts up and down the field just throughout the entire day. And I think as a whole, I think that was the problem with the offense with it, because Rattler was off today. I'm not going to say he had a bad game. He just made some pretty poor decisions throughout some of the stuff, especially with some of his INTs, but he had an okay game. Because we were missing even more of our wide receivers with it, one of them being the starter and another one being a second string. I think that limited, in addition to our injuries on the running backs, we'll get to that in a moment. I think that limited the offense of what they wanted to do at this point. And in my preview video, I mentioned that I was going to be watching the Tulane secondary, and they came to play. It gave a lot of our wide receivers a lot of problems with it. They were dropping balls left and right with it, and some of them were very catchable. Sure, some of them were just overthrown. I questioned some of Rattler's wobbly in the air balls, but overall, they should have made some of those. And Tulane, to their credit, came to play. So kudos to Tulane on that. Now, that being said, with the going back, though, I think that just limited the offense, though, because the offense just could not get anything going. They just felt stagnant the entire game with it. Even more so with it, I question, and adding to the offense as well, not just wide receivers, but we all knew about the injuries and being down to 2 scholarship running backs. The balance wasn't bad. We had 40 pass plays to 35 carries, but because the O-line was just not doing its job today, it limited the run. Thus, we were forced to throw. And again, Tulane met us with that challenge with it. But the big question I had with it was, where was our third and fourth string? Where were those reps? Were we that bad that they weren't going to get those reps at this point? I don't know. I have no answers for it. Then again, a lot of people are trying to figure out what answers do we have for this team. I don't know what this team's identity is either at this point with it. Based on what the hype was yesterday to now, we'll figure that out as we go. Now, that all being said with it, that's my take on the offense with it. I think they were just so limited with players out, players on the O-line and the wide receivers, as well as still trying to figure out the running back situation. I think our offense is going to be really, really, really stagnant, at least until Nebraska. I think next week's going to be a big tune-up game for them, and it's going to be needed. Now, I can't go without criticizing the offense without criticizing the defense, because the defense, they had moments of inspiration. You saw that with the several fumble recoveries that they had, some of the big plays that they had with, like, say, Isaiah Thomas. The big thing I had with it was going back to the offense with it, we got third and fourth down conversions with it, we were able to get the fumble recoveries with it, but we only got 9 points off of that. That's just unacceptable at that point. You got to get those points, guys. Tulane should have never been this close at all. You were a 31, depending on when the time was released, 32.5 point favorite for it, and you only won by 5. That's on even me of saying, oh, he's going to easily cover the spread. They did not cover the spread. Let's just be honest right here. They did not cover the spread at all. Like, kudos to Tulane keeping that in the game for that at that point. But again, going back for the defense, though, the defense, I have questions on them as well, because there was just no pass rush at all. There was no middle of the field game at all where a Tulane was just abusing us, as well as, like, there was just poor tackling just in general. Defense did not look like the defense we've seen under Alex Grinch. And maybe it's just a first game jitters. I hope it's that, even though they're upperclassmen from it. I really hope that it's just first game jitters and that it's a mentality thing with it, where it's like, oh, I gotta focus. But who knows with it. Defense had problems. Offense has problems too. They both have problems, and they got to figure something out with it, because even going back to offense for a moment, being 3 and 12 on third down conversions, that's a problem. And that's a big problem with the defense. They could not stop third and fourth downs either for against Tulane. This team has a lot of soul searching at the moment for it. And we're only in the first game. We've still got a long ways to go. And the scary part on this is guys, Tulane brought their A game. OU knows the rest of the Big 12 not named Texas. And by that, I mean the irate eight or the hateful eight, however you want to term, they're going to be bringing their end game, and they're much more talented than Tulane is. They have to prepare for that. They have to mentally get prepared for that, that every game is going to be like this game and even harder at this point. So that all being said with that, I do want to give, like I said, a very, very, very brief highlights to Tulane of saying, again, kudos to their quarterback, Pratt. Like, he was a baller. Dude just kept getting hit. And yeah, he missed a couple throws here and there, but dude was good. He is absolutely a great quarterback, and I wish him all the success in his next endeavors and everything, as well as the rest of their season. In addition, I want to give their defense a lot of props. I really said that their defense wasn't going to be able to match our O-line, and they did step for step. So kudos to their defense of proving me wrong. Absolutely proved me wrong. Kudos to you guys. I will say, too, even though they don't matter right now, I absolutely see OU dropping at least 3, 4, and 5, which has given me scary vibes of like 2010 again, where we had these very high expectations, and slowly but surely we started just going down the rankings. I know a lot of us were concerned about the offense this year solely because we were like, oh, the defense will step up and take up the mantle for it. I'm getting those 2010 vibes again with it. We're only in game 1. I can be wrong, and they win the Natty, and this was just one of those games of we just were not synced at this point. But yeah, anyway, that's all I have for just the recap of the game. So regardless of that, I've got some videos upcoming again, guys. We have our season preview video that I want to do. Again, it doesn't change what I had planned for it because we did beat Tulane with it, even though I'm going to make some side comments of, yeah, this is what I was thinking with Tulane. This is the reality of it. I'm still keeping that in context for that as well with it. In addition to that, tomorrow night, I have a fantasy football draft that I think I'm going to get my league to be part of a live stream with. So it's going to be very casual conversation. We're probably going to talk about the game. We're probably going to be probably like yelling at each other for taking players that we wanted, things like that. If you don't want to join in, that's fine, because I also know that fantasy football is like very, very, very individual centric, but it is our 5-year anniversary that we're playing. So we all are trying to like go all out on it. And even this year, the theme is villains. So I hope me and the Moon Palace can succeed and win. So after that as well with it, on Monday night, because I have the draft tomorrow night, I'm going to do the OU Tulane recap with hopefully Oni Kuno and Gavin again, and just kind of go over, because they see things different than I do, and they know more of the X's and O's than I do, and I probably have missed some stuff even in this recap bit with it as well. There is one thing I forgot to mention as well with it. I do want to say this. I guess it was just something that bugged me during the game as well with it. Going backwards for just a sec, guys. I really, 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 I don't know how I felt about the color commentary during the game with it. It just seemed like every time something happened against Tulane, again, this is separate from the actual game with it, they were just very biased towards Tulane of, oh, they should have called this one. It was very clear, like, there was no flag. Oh, they should have called this thing, like just wishing and just foaming at the mouth that they wanted an upset to happen on it, and just making up these mythical flags that just didn't exist with it at all. And I'm not talking about things that were like a questionable call on it, because sure, I will outright say there was calls that were missed, but they were pretty bad color commentary. So I really do hope that we get better announcers and color commentary next go around on our next one with it. Which, speaking of which, next week we will be facing Western Carolina on our pay-per-view. I hope this is our last pay-per-view game. I really, really, really hope this is our last pay-per-view game, but as of right now with it, until we get some final word of when we're moving to the SEC, we're stuck with pay-per-view at the moment. I do feel bad for Western Carolina because I thought this was going to be one of those games where, due to just some circumstances with their coach, it was just going to be one of those small tune-up ones. They were just going to take care of business. Nothing's going to change it. It was just going to get in, play the game, get out. And now I think this is going to be, I feel bad for Western Carolina, because I feel like we're about to take something out on Western Carolina because of our frustrations with this game. I think we're probably going to light them up, but that's for a preview video next week. So again, guys, comment, rate, and subscribe. I hope y'all keep with me for the entire season. I hope I entertain y'all. Remember, my goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this. Reminders again for my streams for fantasy football on Sunday with my league, and then Monday night for the Tulane and the OU recap. And then just some final thoughts of, remember, get vaccinated, guys. The Delta strain is around. And in the comment box, just like in my preview video, I do have a link for the hurricane relief to continue helping out Tulane. Just because the game is over doesn't mean that the help should also stop at this point. So, all right, guys, that's all I've got for y'all. So I'm glad we won. It's a win, but it's an ugly win. So Boomer Sooner, there's only one Oklahoma. I'll see y'all tomorrow night on the stream if y'all join with me. Otherwise, I will see y'all on the next stream or the next recap video. Y'all have a good weekend and a good, safe Labor Day.